Hi, John Montgomery here at Benson Fiat and Benson Alfa Romeo, online at bensonfiat.com or bensonalfa.com. There's my contact information. And as you know, I'm part of Fiat Club America, which is the largest Fiat club in the world. And check us out at fiatclubamerica.com. We have a great magazine called Racambi. There's a sample copy right there. So I think you'll really enjoy it. You can get it free for a year, so just go to Fiat Club America and sign up online. Okay, today I want to cover something that's kind of a common issue, as you see kind of strung out over the top of the car, is a ABS sensor. And this is for your ABS and ESC functions, and also controls hill holder parameters that go to the car. This is the part number if you need to get that part. It's 6807-3206-AD, and it comes one in a bag. It should cost you around $20 or so. So it's a very inexpensive product to buy. Now let me show you what can happen. Let's go to the car, and I'm going to turn the key, and you're going to see when the check engine lights come up and all the protocols. On the lower right hand side, you're going to see where it says ESC or ABS, and you see it's gone out, but that's what it looks like right there, right down the bottom, right where your door ajar warning is. So anyway, if you ever get that signal, you could have a problem with your ABS sensor, and that's exactly what I had. This sensor goes from the front end of the rear wheel well, and there's a connector right here that is a little 2-pin connector, and then it goes through a kind of a several places to hold it in place. There's 3 little O-rings here that fit into a metal fitting that hold it in, and then this is the part that goes into the hub of the car. And what this does is it measures the distance inside of the hub. There's a little kind of a serrated piece of metal in there that measures the high and low of it, and that determines whether or not the car is in a skid, or whether or not it needs to apply the brake, or in the case of ABS or stability control, has to modulate the brake system. Now it uses a little screw that goes in here, and you can see that there's a kind of a metal ring, and that's the ground part of this thing to kind of hold it in. And so this sensor is one that I just removed from this car, and you can see it's a little bit dirty. It's been in here for 10 years, and finally it's failed. Now, one good thing about this part, it is the same part number on the left side as the right side. So that part number right there is all you need to order, and you can get it online. So let's go underneath the car, and I'll show you kind of what we have to do. Now, it's easier if you have the car up on some ramps, or basically elevated in some way, and make sure you safely jack it. In this case, I just have it up on some ramps. I wanted to show you what it looks like in there, and obviously this little clip right here connects down on the front edge. I don't know if you can see it there. See that little clip? And that is where it is connected, and so that's where it goes into the body, and then it winds up around behind the axle line here. And then this part that goes into the hub, you see it has this protective piece on it. And remember that every time your car hits a bump, this thing is moving. It's going back and forth, up and down I should say, and that basically can possibly fray the wires in here eventually. Plus you have water, heat, dirt, whatever you want to call it. Now I've removed the shock lower connection here so you can see a little bit better where this goes in. In order to remove this shock, you'll need to use a 14mm socket right there. Just put it on there and get your half drive. Usually it's got a mark on it. That paint mark indicates where it was done at the factory. So, and this is internally threaded. As you can see, there's a thread there. And so when you take this bolt out, it threads into there. So there's no nut behind it that's you're going to have a loose piece. It just goes right in there. Okay, so let's look inside up here at the top. And there's a good view of the ABS sensor and where it connects. And you can see that there's a 5mm hex drive screw and a washer, and then that piece goes in. And the tool that you need to use is what I have right here. This is a little 5mm 3/8 drive socket. And if you notice, I have a little wobble drive here. This is just a little small extension wobble drive. And then I have a 6-inch 3/8 drive. So I can get up in here and have a little bit of flex to where I can get a little bit of an angle on it. You can see it'll pretty much go right in there, and it's easy to take that out. Counterclockwise to take it out, of course. And then once you get that screw out, and you'll have to kind of tug on this a little bit to get it out. As you can see, it's got some, some ribs on here that make it fit nice and tight inside that little opposite hole. So that's kind of how it goes in. And so what I did is I have some long needle nose pliers. There you go. And you can see pretty good size. I even have a longer set, so I could reach in there and kind of grab it at the root of it, so to speak, and pull it out. And so that was a lot easier than trying to get my fingers in there. But so I would recommend that if you're going to do it. Now, when you install, once you take that out and install it, what I did was I took my little magnetic pickup tool, and then I taped this, bolt to the magnetic pickup tool, so I could take it in there and basically put it in, find a threaded portion that I need to catch, and then screw it in. So that worked out really good, because you don't want to drop that down inside that little hub, because you'll have to fish it out with a magnet. So anyway, that's what you have to do. And like I said, this is a very easy way to sort of thread the needle. And then once you get the screw started, maybe 3 or 4 turns, it might even go more with the magnetic pickup on it. But once you get it threaded in there and you're sure it's secure, then go ahead and just pull this back so that the magnet pops off, of course, and then you can go in with your 5mm socket and go ahead and drive it the rest of the way. Remember, clockwise to tighten it. So once again, let's take a last look at that. You can see where it is. It's down inside the hub, and as you can see, there's a little cavity here, right where that blue paint line is. There's a little cavity, so if you drop the screw, it's going to go down inside the cavity. And so, like I said, with the magnetic pickup tool, that will help you eliminate it. Just make sure you tape it up good so you can get it to stay on the tool, not magnetize against the metal surface. So here's that little flex piece right here, and as you can see, it connects up to this little capture, and then it goes down through its connections that are just press in. So this first little connection is just pressed in. There's like a little U-shaped piece of sheet metal there, and just keep following along and put that in. Then do the other 2, and then make your connection down on the very end there. And so what I did is I left the old one kind of hanging in place in there after I disconnected it, and then I made sure I knew exactly where to thread it. So that way, you sort of follow the trail, if you will, and that made it easy to do. So this is a job that you can do yourself. Again, you're going to need a pair of longer needle nose pliers. You'll need a 5mm 3/8 drive. You can get these at Harbor Freight. They make a little set. It's 5mm. A little wobble drive is always handy to give you a little bit of an angle because you're reaching up in there. 6-inch extension on a 3/8 drive socket wrench, and then you'll need a 14mm for the shock. Now, I would say if you're going to do this job, you could remove the wheel, you could remove the shock assembly totally, but all I did was just kind of pull it back up a little bit, and you can see I've tied it out of the way, so it's not really a problem. I don't like working in a situation like this where you have no wheel on or nothing to support the car, so you just want to be kind of careful when you're working in here. You don't want to have anything move and, you know, risk injury to your hand because you're reaching in a very tight spot. Now let's go, while we're underneath here, let's go to the other side and I'll show you where that one is. You can see that one's a little bit, looks like it's a little bit easier to reach, and the reason is because we don't have the exhaust system over here. But remember, that part number is the same, and so you know, that's a little bit easier on the right side. If you have a good code reader, it can tell you whether the left side or the right side's failing. And then up in the front, these sensors are always up there as well. They're very similar, so you'll need a 5mm hex to get them out. And so, you know, all this stuff is kind of redundant. There's your little charcoal canister for the fuel. And you can see when you put fuel in, you can see where the fuel goes down into the tank right there. And these little lines are very easy to disconnect. If you ever had to replace that unit, why, lo and behold, there's the part number right there. Remember, check your VIN number before you order any parts. But as you can see on this side, we got the exhaust system that's right in our way. So anyhow, that's kind of what I have for you today. And you know, I hope that you're able to do this job. It's pretty easy. It's just, you know, a matter of getting underneath the car, buying the right part, and getting it done. So once again, I want to thank you for watching this video. And there's my card again in case you need to reach me. And I'm online at bensonfiat.com, john@bensonfiat.com. And then my channel is Fiat of Greenville on YouTube. So once again, there's your part number if you need that. And like I said, those are readily available. Left and right side fit the same. So anyhow, don't forget about Fiat Club America. The big Fiat Freakout event is coming up in Houston, Texas in September. So we'll be in the Woodlands up there. So check us out. You can get a free 1-year subscription to Ricombi magazine for nothing just by signing up and going to their website. So I hope you have a great day, and thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, send me an email. Take care. Ciao.